I had so many near-death experiences so young as a child. I remember my parents having a above-ground pool and my mom floating on one of those metal rafts. That you could have your beer cup or whatever. I remember those. They were new out. My mom and dad had one, and I remember I was on swim teams. I think I was about 6 or 7, still living in Pennsylvania. And, my mom talking to somebody that's sitting on the pool deck, and she's just floating around. There's music playing, and I'm swimming quietly, underneath and all around. And I remember coming up from swimming underwater, and I come up underneath my mom's bottom, and I couldn't go up any further, and I didn't know how to swim away from something above my head. So I was literally drowning, and my head kept bobbing underneath my mom. And I remember, I think I irritated her by kept bumping her with my head, thinking I was trying to get air, but she didn't know that. And she just reached down and grabbed my exposed leg and jerked me out from underneath her and pretty much saved my life. Um, Funny. I remember maybe a year later coming off of using a friend's bicycle and coming off of her driveway. Now we live in Pennsylvania, and those driveways are pretty steep. And just coming down the driveway, and she didn't have any brakes on her bike, and I didn't know. And there was an oncoming car, and I hit the tire and rolled over that. And I remember them calling my parents. I mean, a head injury. I don't remember how that worked out, but I remember laying on the couch for a couple days. High fevers, very, very bad ear infections, bad eyesight, bad hearing, always a very, very loud, deep voice as a child. And I believe that stems from bad hearing. Now I know that I'm terribly, have terrible hearing loss in my left ear from Lyme disease and Magellan, and my left eye. So my whole left side is quite compromised in a sense. Having dental surgery as a young child, I lost feeling on this side. So this whole left side is I don't know if any of you, other of you that have Lyme or any environmental diseases, how one side of the body is so affected by these diseases. These environmental diseases are systemic, I believe. Central nervous, of course. That's why we can't handle loud sounds or listen to music and read a book, or listen to someone have a conversation in the radio on. These are things that are very troubling for me. I need zen, I need peace, I need quiet. So many times I was in I used to model, and I was on 7 different planes. We were on puddle jumpers on little planes flying over Cuba, wherever we were flying to the islands to do these bathing suit shots and shoots. And I remember Cuban bombers coming on the sides of us, because they don't mind if you fly away from the United States, towards them. But if you fly away from them towards the United States, they get kind of sticky. And I remember being in the air and seeing a MiG on each side of us that was from Cuba, and hearing them over the announcement on the pilot's radio, this private plane, and they were speaking Spanish, and it was pretty scary up there. Then I was on a private plane, and we shot a rod and had to make an emergency landing. We were stuck on an island that was primitive for a week until the weather was right to dry up the land for them to send a chopper to pick us up 2 at a time. It was awesome. On a bus. I had a lady die next to me on a bus when I was 15. And I've been through some crazy stuff. I've really lived a long, long life for my 47 years. I have so many wonderful stories. I'm just giving you insights on the things that I'm going to pinpoint and talk about. Friends, if you find interest, or if there's something you have question about, that I might not have hit a point or answered for you in my autobiography, feel free to uh, write it on my Facebook on a post or a reply, and I'll be more than glad to fill in the blanks for you, friend. All right, we're going to go to page 7. I love you. Good morning.